What's up guys, I'm Dakota Freeman and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be covering some dirt bike basics and I want to show you how to kickstart a dirt bike. If this video helps you out and you're having fun learning how to ride a dirt bike, make sure you check out my other videos and drop some comments down below. Hit that subscribe button, like this video, and let's go. So today I'm going to be on my dad's dirt bike here. This is a Honda 450. And like most dirt bikes, this is going to have a kickstart. So right here on the right hand side of the dirt bike is going to be our kickstarter. This little knob right here is actually how we start our dirt bikes. So when we're cranking our dirt bike, we're going to pull this out and put our foot right here on top. You'll feel whenever you first push this down, it kind of hits a spot that gets a little bit harder, and that is actually where you want it to be when you go to kick your bike. You don't want it all the way at the top here, because when you hit it, you're gonna go through this easy playful part and hit right here really hard, and you could potentially break some things that are going on in here by doing that. So make sure you never force anything, and whenever you do kickstart it, you're gonna put your foot on this all the way down to where it stops and then kick it through. Now that you know what the kickstarter is here, let's go ahead and fire this bad boy up. So now you know exactly where your kickstarter's at and exactly what it's gonna do. You can crank the bike with the clutch pulled in gear. I've always found when learning though, it's gonna make it much easier to crank the bike in neutral. Now pull your kickstarter out. Set your foot on the kickstarter. You're gonna see where it actually sits about 3 inches down with your foot on it. This is where you actually wanna kick the bike from. You don't want it to be all the way up here and slam it down. Go ahead and get it to right where it starts to hit the motor and give it a good kick. You don't ever want to force anything on your bike at this point. You really just want to make sure that you're getting a good straight through kick. If it's not wanting to crank, there could be another reason. A lot of times dirt bikes get valves that'll get flattened on them. This will make them really hard to crank right off the bat. Also, if you have a carburetor on your dirt bike and it's kind of dirty, that's also going to make it really hard to start your bike as well. Another thing you can do on these dirt bikes to make it easier to crank for yourself, find the choke on your dirt bike. It's gonna be a little knob that you just pull out, normally on the left hand side of your bike on the upper part of your motor here. This knob actually sends more fuel to your carburetor or fuel injector and is actually gonna make it easier to crank. Find your choke, pull this out, especially when your bike is really cold. So the choke on this bike is kinda hidden, so I'm just gonna start here and walk you to it. So right up here under this frame, there's gonna be a yellow knob. So this yellow knob right here is actually the choke. You pull this out and that's gonna choke your bike and it's gonna make it much easier to crank. Pushing this back in is gonna turn your choke off. You don't wanna have the choke on very long whenever you're riding. Only to crank your bike, and then once it's cranked and warmed up, turn this off so you don't forget. This knob sends more fuel to the carburetor or fuel injector to where it cranks much easier when it's cold. Cold bikes are going to be so much harder to crank than when they're warmed, and depending on the age of the bike or how long it's been sitting, that's definitely going to apply to how hard it is to crank this dirt bike. So make sure you do crank your bikes often. That way it runs them, gets everything out of there, there's no dust buildup, and it just gets the fuel to go through your bike as well. No fuel sitting, going bad anywhere. So just make sure you crank your bike every once in a while, especially in the winter time whenever bikes are just sitting sometimes. Crank it up and just let the bike run for a minute. Let it heat up. It'll be really good for the bike's life to be able to do that every once in a while. So make sure when you do turn your choke on to crank your dirt bike, go ahead and crank your bike, and then once you get it running and kind of warmed up, turn this off. You do not want your choke on while you're actually riding. You're going to be sending too much fuel to the motor and it can actually be a bad thing. So there's one more thing that you can do to crank your dirt bike whenever it's not wanting to start. You can actually bump start your dirt bike. You can either do this by rolling down a hill or by running with the dirt bike. Hop on the bike, put it into first or second gear, sit on the bike as you let the clutch out, and this will crank your motorcycle. I'll go ahead and show you how it's done. All right guys, so this is how you crank a dirt bike with a Kickstarter. Make sure you never force anything with this so you don't hurt your motor, and make sure you don't wear yourself out before you get riding. So if this video helped you out, make sure you drop some comments down below and let me know how this video helped you. I'm super stoked that you're taking it seriously to get out on the trails and start learning how to ride your dirt bike. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. I'm Dakota Freeman, and I will see you next time. Make sure you click right here and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future content. After that, you can watch my next video right here. Go ahead and click on it. I'll see you guys over there.